Okay, I'm going to start a carving of a dolphin, and that's my shape that I'm going to cut out using a jeweler's saw. I'm going way off on this fin here. If you undercut, then you end up with too skinny a piece. We can hurry things along by going to the bandsaw. The dolphin basically cut out, but now we're going to a grinder. First thing I'm going to do is look at the silhouette from above. Got a bit of a lump there and get rid of that. Giving the head a little tapered effect. And the dorsal fin. I'm just rough carving this so that when I sit down with my hand piece, I don't have to grind away as much. Now the real work begins on the handpiece. Cute! Okay, this is a tungsten carbide cylinder burr. And because it's cylinder shaped, I can do things like get in here behind the fin. But I'm giving the back of the dorsal fin a little curve. Curve the dorsal fin. The effect will be to make it look like the tail is just twisted with a piece of bone, probably not wide enough to get the tail going at right angles to the body. I'm shaping the dorsal fin. Now I'm going to do the front flipper. One back, one slightly more forward. I'm going to do this last little bit. This is the other fin on the other side, which is tilted a little bit forward, so you can see both fins in the finished carving. Now I'm getting to the point where this tool is risky because it'll jump, and if it jumps it might break something off. See, we have another tungsten carbide burr. Smaller, but it's more controllable. A little curve to it. Will be a nice fat little dolphin. Well, let's try yet another tool called a knife edge cutter. Get right down there between the two fins. Undercut behind the fin too. Now we're going to get out another tool. Snap-on sanding discs. I like to get the largest diameter I can get, which is usually 3/4 of an inch and coarse. With this I can shape a lot of things. Like this tail. Get both sides of the tail looking more or less the same. Front flipper. This is going across the grain of the bone, so that's the most likely place to break. But I leave it fairly thick. Now I start working on the body. These sanding discs are great. They take off just enough to shape things very carefully. I've got that little wedge in the tail that dolphins have. So it's cute. And I'm carving it so it's relatively strong. Rounding out the belly. If I think it's a little too fat, I can take some off the silhouette because I've allowed a lot of bone. Starting to get smooth now. Now I'm going to try to make that tool into a different tool. Here's a little tiny disc now. Now I can get into the little areas like this. Trying to take all the major lines and wrinkles out of it so that when I hand sand it, it'll come out nice and smooth. I'm just finishing up with this little cylinder burr, just cleaning up all the little details so that when I go to sand, shaping is done. We'll get out the knife edge cutter, detail around the fins, just undercutting the fin a little bit. And dolphins have a little split in their tail, which does a great job at that. Now I'll get another cylinder burr out, another knife edge cutter rather, smaller size, and I'll make the mouth. Cut a little groove like that, and then just go like that and give it a little smile. Turn it slightly. A little line over here, and we have a nice realistic little mouth on the dolphin. Looks like a real dolphin. Make it on that side as well. Put the mouth on that side. Now it's basically up down to sanding now. Okay, bit of 320 sandpaper. Now you have to do the hand sanding. You really need to spend 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, since we're not going to film the whole hand sanding process, but you get the idea. This makes all the difference. You really need to hand sand everything you do. It gives it that nice finished look. We got to locate the eye exactly right on a dolphin, kind of equal with the mouth. Got a little drill bit, drill right through the head, came out more or less in the right spot, and then that's going to be my show side, so I'm going to drill a hole here behind the dorsal fin. That's where I'm going to put the pin later to hang it. Okay. Okay, larger burr to make the eye a little larger. Getting quite a good sized eye on this. Now I'm going to make an eye. Just glue this little cylinder of abalone shell on the end of this little pointed bit of black coral. I'm going to cut off the end of it a little bit. And I'm going to take that and glue that into the head of the dolphin. Put plenty of super glue on here. It's a little cylinder of shell, a little black coral center. I'll glue that in there like that. After it's glued in, I just cut off the little piece of black coral. And the eye is there. And if I sand over it, you'll see it look nice and shiny and green. Nice eye. And I'll make another one on the other side, and then I'll polish it. I hand sanded it. Got the eyes inlaid, so now I'm going to just polish it. A little white rouge. The white rouge is just a sand and a wax base. It's an abrasive. It's a soft wheel, so it gets in the corners like that, on the back, under the belly, on the edges, around the dorsal fin and the head. I usually do one side real good. And I'll turn around to the other side. Pretty much it. We'll go over and add the pin. Drilled a hole in the dolphin's back. I made this little pin out of rolled gold wire. Just doubled the wire over and shaped it and all that. Put a little super glue. Put the little pin in there. Like that a bit to get the glue inside there. That's it. That's the hanging wire. Finished piece, ready to go. Laying there amongst the bone dust. And I've made many, many hundreds. I don't know how many dolphins I made. I think the first thing I ever made was a dolphin. Various stages of perfection or imperfection.
Walk the plank.